I remember when my kids were sitting in the living room and I told them to get off the video game. And as I told them to get off the video game, they didn't respond back. So I told them again, Ethan, Chase, get off the video game. And they just kind of jumped. And I was like, look, we got to go. I don't have time for y'all to be sitting there playing these video games and stuff. And sometimes, this happens as we have kids. Sometimes our kids will talk back and sometimes they'll ignore us. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we tell them, I hear you, but I want you to listen. Sometimes what'll happen is that your kids can hear you, but they're not responding back. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad kids. It doesn't even mean that they could be angry or mad or upset or anything like that. But you want to make sure you tell them, I hear you, but just listen. And that's something I tell my kids a lot of times. I don't do a whole lot of yelling and stuff. Because once you tell them, hey, I hear what you're saying, it's acknowledging that what they're saying is important. And I'm not saying that just because they're kids, what they're saying is not important. But you want them to also listen to the things that you have to say too. It's a mutual. It's like a two-way street. And what you also can tell them is, let's pause and reset. Because obviously you're not getting it. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're both on the same page. So you want to make sure as a father that you tell them, hey, look, let's pause, let's reset, let's think about this again and how we're going to solve this problem. Because for whatever reason, you're talking back, you might be yelling, your child might be yelling at you, they might even be ignoring you. And then you're trying to figure out, okay, why is my child doing this? And that's something as a father, just be open-minded. So you want to tell them, well, pause. It could have been something that the way that you said it. It also could just be that they just not respecting you at that time. And you need to set down the hammer and be like the Texas hammer and just tell them, hey, look, sometimes you might have to tell them, I'm in charge. You're living in daddy's house now. And that's the thing. And also, you can also tell your children is try again. Let's do this with respect. I respect you as a child. You respect me. I'm your father. It's a proper dialogue. And just talk to them and say, if we try to do this again, you can do this in a different way, because even when you do this as a father, you're also showing them how to communicate. So yes, you're the authority figure, and I'm not saying that you're not, but also too, you're teaching them and showing them how to respond to you as a father. You're teaching them to have and really respect you as a person. And even when they respect you as a father, they really start to respect other adults, because you are the first person that they see when they wake up in the morning, whether they see their brother or their sister, but they respect you as a father because you're in the house with them. You're trying to be there with them. You're showing them the right things. So that's why you want to tell them, hey, look, I don't know why you're talking back. I don't know why you're ignoring me, but you need to restart, try this over, and let's keep going. And that's what I always do. I don't yell at my kids. I don't argue with them. I tell them, hey, look, daddy's in charge. This is how it's going to go. And sometimes I don't say that. I'm just stern. This is what it is. I didn't ask you. You can also tell them, I'll wait when you're ready. And I do that. Man, I do that one a lot. I tell them, hey, look, you know what? For whatever reason was going on with you, let me know when you're ready. Because mama and daddy, we're going to be sitting over here. Or daddy going to be sitting over here. I'm going to be eating my food and stuff. Whenever you're ready, you let me know, because we're not going nowhere out this house. We ain't going nowhere. Cut off the video game. So let me know when you're ready. And then they straighten up real fast. And then they want to try to give me a hug and start talking and stuff like that. And that happens quite often. Sometimes they're just testing their boundaries and stuff like that. And sometimes you see that happen. And you want to tell them, hey, look, I'll wait. Don't argue with them. You don't have to fuss and fight, yell, throw things at them. Sometimes you need that pause to really reset and just wait for them to gather themselves. They could be emotional. Like my younger son, I don't think he's not as highly as emotional as he was before. He's kind of calmed down some. But sometimes kids can be emotionally charged. And what you want to do is you want to try to get them out of that phase. So sometimes a little cool down, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. You see this a lot of times what we call like flooding. You see this if you're married. And what happens is you overwhelm the person if you're arguing, and then the spouse has to step outside for a little while. And then they come back after an hour, 20, 30 minutes. And sometimes it happens the same thing with kids. They need to reset because they're over emotional. They're flooded with all these emotions and feelings. Pause, reset, and then come back. Another thing is, what you can tell them is, I can see that this is bothering you, but this is not how we solve things. And that's what you really want to tell them. And the reason why is because sometimes kids think that ignoring or talking back and stuff like that is going to help them, but it's not. If you're running your own business and you're talking to clients and stuff like that, they tell you something and you ignore them, or you start talking back to them and you talking over them and stuff, that is not going to help them. If you're going in there and you're applying for a job and then you go in the interview and then you start talking back or you start yelling or you don't want to listen to them, that's not going to help them. That's the thing. That's why I say what you want to tell them is, hey, look, whenever you work for somebody else, that's not going to work. And once you tell them that, they kind of look at it and maybe understand it. And if they don't, they're going to start to understand it as time goes on. And that's really what you want to do, is you want to show them, hey, look, we can solve problems the right way, and this is not what we have to do. And once you do that, you show them a different way. You also can tell them, right now, I need you to stay home. Sometimes kids get overly emotional and you want them to just be calm. And that's something you can really do, is just tell them to stay calm. And then as a father, you also stay calm too. And the reason why is once you stay calm, you show them, okay, daddy's calm, I can be calm too. Because sometimes they just do that. They get overly emotional, and that's why I talk about it. And you can really tell your kids too, hey, I love you, but this is not how we do things. This is not okay. And I'm not saying that you have to yell at them. What you can just say is, I love you and I really do care about you. And I tell my younger son that a lot because he's so kind. He's so nice and sensitive. So I have to give him a hug. And once you do that, then sometimes he starts crying because he feels bad because of what he did. And sometimes you have to just tell your kids that, hey, look, I love you. There's nothing really wrong with you, but I don't know why you would ignore me. I don't ignore you. I'm not talking back to you. Just talk. I tell my kids that all the time, look, just talk. All you got to do is just talk. If you got something you want to talk about, just tell the person. Just let them know what's going on. There's no reason for you to yell. There's no reason for you to argue or fuss and fight or anything like that. Just talk to the person and let them know how you feel, because this is a training ground. The home is a training ground. It's like soil where you plant the seed in the ground and then you water it, and then over time it starts to grow. These little moments and times that you have with your child is an excellent opportunity for you to teach them and show them how to have the proper communication skills that they need for real life. Whether they're going to get married, whether they're going to be in a relationship, whether they're going to have their own kids when they get older. These are all factors that contribute to their growth as kids. And that's what you really want to look at. You can do this as a father. I believe in you. If nobody else believes in you, Chris Payne believes in you. And you know why? Because you're a good father. You got this. You can do this. So, hey, look, remember, like, share, subscribe. This is what we're doing. We got to get the content out for all the fathers. Peace. I'm out. Let's go.